1,
2,
3,
4,
5,
6,
7,
8,
9.
10.
Yizza!
Hey, happy
Hi.
Monday.
Hey, happy Easter, heroes.
Yes, he
Amen.
did. Won't he do
For
it?
us, for our sins.
Came back again.
God said, you got to die so they can live.
Yes.
Was that really?
Yes. Hallelujah. I love it. Sacrifice.
There was
I'm very happy, though, that spring is here. On the East Coast, we had 2 beautiful days that just put a battery in my back to keep going, and that there is warmth on the horizon. I felt really excited about that. I wasn't really out running the streets, but I was driving around with my top down or my windows open because I don't have a convertible. Sorry to confuse everyone. What's been happening? I got to see you guys last weekend, which was really, really nice.
Mm-hmm.
We all got together, all the squad, everybody, not a person was missing.
Jazz,
And
Kayla, Amanda, Shanti, Antoinette, with our powers combined.
we kind of a mess.
Right, struggling.
No, it was really good. It was beautiful seeing everybody, and everybody's just growing and trying and,
Flailing.
But for the most part, what I loved was everybody, what's that you were drinking? That looks good. What is that?
This is, okay, free advertisement. This is a dry rose cider from Trader Jose's.
Oh, I got to get that. That looks cute.
It's quite nice.
It got me.
Yeah. It's a little pink something, little individual thing. And I'd never drink in a house, child. You know what's going on over here.
Oh, wait, that's alcoholic?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't get that.
It's like a wine.
Cooler's over there. Okay, watch. This episode's going to be interesting. My God. I hung out with you guys the week before, and then this week I had the pleasure of hanging out with some younger girls, and I was just so tickled by them and inspired by them. And again, just in the religion that I was raised in, most religions actually, they talk about how association is the most important thing. Like, you cannot really dive into and really grow in your spiritual development if you have poor association. Birds of a feather flock together. Mm-hmm. And just hanging out with women that are just doing things, just embodied in their bodies, just smart as fuck, just so loving with each other, really affectionate with each other. I was just like, this feels really nice. I left feeling really enlivened by both of my little girl hangs. And shout out to those lovely ladies. You know who you are. I appreciate you guys. So that's been really good. Otherwise, it's been incredibly busy, and I'm holding on for dear life. I'm nearly finished this class, so it's crunch time. And I find, like, after I put Joe to bed and I'm, put my phone down. I discovered a new app blocker. Fuck that shit that I had to pay for. Girl, your iPhone can block the apps for you. That's what the young, beautiful girls taught me. I was like, you are rich in my life. They're
what
like, girl,
setting is that?
I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. But you just go into, like, settings, and then you go into maybe controls, and then you go to apps. I might actually be able to tell you. And then you can pick the app that you want to control. And the iPhone will tell you, like, it will prompt you to turn it off. It will shut it down. It will make it go black on your screen. And you have to consciously tap back in and know that you are betraying yourself when you do it. So it's been helping. It's been helping. Good. But I've also just been decompressing with, what's her name? Ginny and Georgia. Oh my God. It is my deep, dark secret. Do you know anything about Ginny and Georgia? Yeah.
Nothing.
It's a Netflix teeny bopper melodrama. It's about a biracial girl. It's about her white criminal mother.
God, Shanti.
It's about her white criminal mother who has
Not
a dark
spending
past.
time with watching biracial angst.
And girl, it's like a new Dawson's Creek. Did you get into Dawson's Creek and like
I
Party
love
of Five?
Dawson Creek, not
Party
Party
of
of
Five?
Five. Dawson's Creek, amazing.
It's the
Those
same
kids were
vibes.
smart as shit.
It's just angsty kids, fucking up. The parents are actually fucking up. There's all these love triangles. It's a small town. There's only 3 sets that play over and over throughout the whole show. The cafe, the house, and then like the cafe and school are the 3 sets that all this drama. Girl, I am sucked in. I'm invested in these people's lives. It's like watching a train wreck.
New Succession?
It's nowhere near like Succession. It's terrible because it's terrible, but I cannot stop watching.
But it's got you in a chokehold.
In a chokehold.
Annoying.
I started the season back, so I'm coming back for season 2. You need to just watch the trailer on Netflix and shake your head.
Time.
Just so that you can look at it and be like, Shanti.
All right, I'll do that.
It's terrible, but I put myself to sleep with that, and I gotta stop. It's a problem. But doing okay over here. Oh no. How are you?
This week has been, full. Full has the name of this week. I recorded Can't Afford Therapy this week, 2 really beautiful episodes that I'm excited to come out. We're recording again next week, so I need to prep for that. Work is definitely working. It's picking up. I'll talk more about that maybe on the next episode. And then I just got back today. The reason why Shanti said that this episode is going to get interesting is because I had to give myself an edible to calm myself down after going to get my taxes done and having the audacity to owe this government money. And I said, it felt so deflating. I was like, I can't even believe that because I am by no means balling. And it just felt like I was robbed of all my hard work. Like I just felt despair. Like, what else do you want me to do? Like, I can't get ahead. It's just,
you want more.
It's crazy. And it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. So you and I got to figure something out. I got to figure something out. Single, no mortgage and no kids. The government hates you. They coming for you. Like, that's it. And you got to pay. So here we are.
Meanwhile, people that make triple, quadruple, bajillion more than you just
Yeah.
make it make sense.
Capitalism. Gotta have somebody has to be on the bottom. Anyway, Blue, I had a very trying Saturday. Blue, y'all know Blue as my child. Blue is my cat. We've been together, been her parent for 11 years now. And she's a part of my life. She's a part of my world. She is a baby. Shanti has talked about how frustrating she is and baby-like that she is. The crying at night every day, the needing to be rocked to sleep. It's a lot. Y'all, I came home from See the Thing Is live show, and I come in the door on Friday, washed my face. I actually did take a bath, but it was quick. Jumped in the bed, knocked out, rocked. I get up, and I'm like, oh, Blue didn't sleep with me. And I'm walking around the house, and then I see her litter box, and it's clean. I was like, oh, do. I hear her automatic feeder go off. Well, how do I know it's her feeder? Because my voice is recorded on there, and it says, time to eat, Blue. And it repeats. Okay? Every time Blue hears that, she comes a running.
Running.
Fast and furious. Blue did not run. So now I'm like, wait a minute. where's she at? So I'm looking out under the bed. I'm looking under the couch. I'm tearing the closets apart. I ended up flipping my bed over to ensure that I wasn't losing my mind. Couch too. I'm in the cabinets that are by the floor in the kitchen. I'm losing it. Call Jade. I am in shambles. I'm freaking out, crying. Jade is like, oh my God, it's going to be okay. Jade has the brilliant idea. Sorry if you can hear those sirens. Brooklyn. Boop, boop, boop. Jade has the brilliant idea to she's like, open your door. And maybe, if she got out, maybe she'll come back in. What I'm thinking is that when I came in from See the Thing Is, and she's done this once before, but I heard her and let her back in. She scurries by my feet, excited that I'm home, but then she's locked out because I didn't even recognize that I shut the door with her out there. Girl, this cat was not in this house. I was running around the apartment building, asking my neighbors, did you see my cat? Weeping. I call Amanda. I'm weeping. I sit down at this table right here, full of despair, and then I realize, what did I realize, Shanti? I plan ahead. This cat has a chip in her. So I hop on the computer, typing in the chip number. I'm going to the service. The chip number's not working, whatever. So then I got to call them. They activate it. And they're like, oh my God, she got so far. I'm like, fuck, where is she? And they're like, my address. I'm like, oh, you got my old address. Please. So I'm like, okay, so she's here. So they're on the phone with me. I'm going around the apartment building again. Door is wide open, mind you. I don't give a fuck. They can take the bike. I need my cat. I come back. I sit down and I can't find her. And I just say, she's hurt. She's dead. And Blue comes walking out of my motherfucking room. And I was like, the way I looked at that cat, okay. So then I was like, you are crazy. You're actually insane. But the thing that did make me feel better was that she wasn't in the house because a bunch of the food that was outside was eaten.
Yeah, she was just out scared.
She was out scared.
Knocked
and then
out.
I grabbed her, I picked her up, and she threw up. She was trembling like she was terrified.
Oh my God.
So that was Saturday morning. Then I'm like, okay, I told the girls I was going to meet them because I had hit Amanda up and was like, I'm not coming. Blue is missing. Everything's canceled. But then I was like, I found her. I'm going to come. Getting dressed, get my shit together. I kiss Blue, make sure her ass is locked in the house, and I'm driving. And I'm on the phone. I'm on FaceTime actually with Nana. And I'm like, do. And then all of a sudden my phone, bah, bah, bah. And I'm like, what the fuck? Must be an Ambler alert. That's so sad. And I click it away without even looking at it. Mind you, folks, I'm driving from Brooklyn to Philadelphia. So at this point, I am in New Jersey. All of a sudden, the sky gets black. The wind is howling. And rain and hail is pouring it down so hard that I thought my luxury vehicle, shout out to all the Acura drivers, I thought that the windshield was gonna burst.
Girl, she was in a tornado, girl.
Girl, my mother called me and said, where the fuck are you? And I was like, what is going on? She's like, there's a fucking tornado. And she's looking at my location, but she can't tell where I am, like in New Jersey. She's like, it's saying it's in New Jersey. And I was like, okay, I'm going to get off. I was like, actually, where is it? Can you find out where the name of the place is that it's in? Well, that was the exit. So at this point, I'm like so close to it. You can feel the car shaking and moving. I'm on the turnpike and I'm just like, well, I can't stop, but I also can't drive super fast because one, I can't see, and two, my car is moving. And you can hydroplane. So you're going slow, knowing that like if this shit comes towards me, it's a wrap. I finally tell her she's crying. I was like, I have to get off the phone. Everything's fine. I need to concentrate and hang up. As soon as I hung up, I'm in tears because I just hung up. I'm thinking to myself, my mom can't be on the phone when and if I die. She can't hear that. Then I'm still driving. You call me. Hey, are you all right? Sorry. And I don't think that you knew how scared I was, but I was like, remember I kept saying, I need to know where it is. And then you called me. You were like, oh, you're this far from Jasmine's. I was like, no, I need to know where the storm is. I had stopped under underpass, which apparently you're not, overpass rather. Apparently you're not supposed to do that because that is where the winds are the strongest. But then I kept going because it was just like, what if I have to get out of here? You know, like I don't know. It was just like, what do you do? My sister called me back after the trauma of Blue because she wasn't able to talk to me. And I was back in tears, freaking out about the storm. And she was just like, wow, you're having a day. She's like, I think that you need to pull over. Because I'm in, like, it was real. I can't even lie. It was terrifying. By the time I pulled over, I had the alert on my phone, and that shit read, tornado in area, take cover. If you are in a moving vehicle, seek significant shelter right away. Like,
yeah,
I've never. So that was my Saturday, and then I saw y'all, and I was depleted. I'll be honest, that was probably the most low key I've been around y'all in a minute because I was just exhausted. I was so tired, but y'all lift my spirits as you always do, child. And then the next day, I went home, saw my mother, Mom Dukes, the point God. And she teared up after watching LSU, Louisiana State University, win the national championship. And we'll talk about that more later.
So, what a weekend.
A storyteller.
Sure.
Please rate, review, and subscribe and share. Around the Way Curls. Those were our updates for this week. Do you have anything for patrons? What if people want to see us, Shanti?
If you want to see our podcast in video form, you should definitely consider joining our Patreon. You can find us at patreon.com/aroundthewaycurls. And shout out to all the folks that have done just that, have signed up. Shout out to Gloria, Latoya, Marie, Jasmine, Amanda, Teray, Danielle, I love the spelling of your name, Tamara, Constance, and Ashley. We are so very grateful and appreciate you. Thank you.
All right, let's take a break and pay some bills. I hate that so much. Every time I try to make that work.
Stop saying it then.
I don't know why I wanted to work. When other people say it, don't sound like that. They be like,
we gotta say nothing. We just all we gotta do is intro into a damn
ad
and then come back. But
all right,
after these messages, we'll be right back.
Boop. All right, ready?
Yeah.
And we are back. So, you know what? I was wondering what was happening. Something was happening on the internet. Well, all right. I had posted a picture that was provocative. My very good friend, the new Black, took a picture of me that Shanti suggested, and we kind of remade the Janet Jackson infamous Rolling Stone cover. So I was getting a lot of Instagram,
just
beautiful,
fantastic,
yeah,
gorgeous.
Thank you. I was getting a lot of notifications. I don't have notifications turned on Instagram, so when I log on, they're like, you're inundated with them. But then like a couple days later, it was happening again. I thought, what is going on? Like, what's happening? Come to find out, the good people of the Friend Zone podcast, shout out to Fran, Asante, and Dustin, they just said such nice things about me on their podcast and just big me up and were just so supportive. And I just was really grateful. And it was nice. It was just so nice to hear. And so a bunch of those folks came over, and as a result, came over to Around the Way Curls. So shout out to y'all, new listeners. But I realized that I don't think we mentioned this, and we would be remiss that Fran has a new podcast out that she is producing. It is called the Living for We podcast, and it is an NPR and Idea Stream Ohio public media podcast. And she's been producing it for months now. And the series is hosted by Marlene Harris Taylor, and it's based on Project Noir Cleveland research done by Work Enlighten. And it basically chronicles all of these Black women's experiences in Cleveland. Cleveland apparently, after some kind of study was done by, I forget which university that is, fancy, they studied where Black women where they thrive and where they are basically struggling.
You said
and made to struggle.
The City Lab of Pittsburgh released a study that ranked Cleveland dead last in terms of livability for Black women.
So, it was thank you, City Lab of Pittsburgh. So she chronicles these women, and they even had, like, the second episode has Tamir Rice's mother on there. And it's just beautifully produced. I was listening to it today, like, damn, this is fire. And I feel like that's what Fran's been wanting to do, is get from behind the mic and amplify other people's voices. Yeah.
Good work.
So this is like a no joke podcast. Like, this is NPR. This is serious. So, like, shout out to you. This is amazing. You are doing things that are necessary. Our podcast, Erykah Badu. That's what she is. Like the Erykah Badu fairy godmother of podcasts. But y'all should go check that out. Make sure you do.
In the same vein, bigging up NPR, whoever is doing the curation and booking for NPR Tiny Desk, round of applause. They had Trina. I think it came out this week. Trina has a Tiny Desk
Friday.
And I just love it. Her band is banging. Her background is banging. She looks good. She sounds good. She's performing her ass off. I said, go. She said, the original baddest bitch. I said, ooh, Trina, go off.
She is, though.
She is. And my other favorite was Duran. And I'm obsessed with him. And I need to see him live. And I haven't. I saw him live once at the Roots Picnic. And I was working that day. And I actually just stopped working to watch him. And I'm obsessed. They dressed up as the Proud Family characters. And it's just singing his ass off. Just incredibly talented, dynamic person. And I'm just obsessed with him. And I saw a friend of mine, I respect her taste a lot. She just shared that she's just gotten to the series Beef. And that's with Ali Wong and fucking Steven Yeun. That was Glenn from The Walking Dead.
You know I didn't watch The Walking Dead.
Oh, he is my boo. That's my Asian boyfriend. I didn't, because when they killed Glenn, I actually... Oh my God.
Jesus Christ.
It's old. It's old. I
didn't watch it. I wanted to watch it.
You ain't never gonna watch that show if they started now. That's like 11 seasons in also. I apologize. But anyway, it's Beef. It's what I just started watching a little bit of it before we recorded. And it seems really interesting and exciting. And I'm curious if other folks have started. It's number 2 on Netflix right now. So it's just fine Asians acting. Very good. Very excited for it. So I'll update you guys more on the developments of that growing obsession.
Last one for me is that Victoria Monet is just a star.
Who is Victoria Monet?
Oh my God. I'll send you some of her stuff.
What's she do?
She's a star. She has that one song, it's your motherfucking moment. You don't know? In me all of your emotions.
Maybe.
Anyway, it's your motherfucking moment. I don't know what it's your moment or moment, something like that. But that's what I don't know what she titled it. But
child is a gift of God.
She had her first headliner performance, apparently somewhere in California. And the clips were going on all around on the socials of medias. And she was dancing her little ass off, looking like
a star,
a star. Really, like I'm proud of this girl. I see it for her. If she keeps going, it's gonna be dope. So shout out to her.
Go ahead, Victoria. Got the folks rooting for you.
Really, I'm rooting for her. Politics as usual. Trump was arrested.
Oh, my.
That's so funny to say. Former President Trump was arrested. Now, in the indictment, and y'all got to remember I'm high, but in the indictment, it's not just the Stormy Daniels. That's not the only case in there. There's another one. I forget. See, this is why I shouldn't have done that. No, I wrote notes. Karen McDougal, that's another woman who they're basically saying that he paid off. He's paying these publishers and
not paying
these people
them off
off
a lot either.
Yeah, and then there's a doorman that alleged that Trump fathered a child and then had it aborted.
So he's not paying them off directly.
But I want to just make it real fast. That was never verified, though. We don't know. But go ahead.
He's not like paying them directly. He's basically paying for their stories, so to speak. He's
to
paying
go away.
He's paying for, I can't give an example, but he's paying for, let's say, the Inquirer to purchase the story and then never release it today. Yeah. So like, whatever ties he has, and he did that.
It's what Logan tried to do on Succession when he was like, can we buy them off when that story was about to come out?
Right.
Yeah. That's not why I want to talk about this, because we won't hear. I mean, Trump is not due back into the courts until I think like September or October. Meanwhile, he's going to be campaigning, so this is just going to be an interesting run. But I bring this up because y'all's cousin Van Jones had a take. Did you see this take?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna play this tape for y'all. And I'm all about restorative justice. And I guess I'm like, well, if we are all about that, then is Van wrong? Because I ain't trying to hear this from Van right now. But Van is gonna Van. I'll play it. If it would open. Monty, can you cut this out?
Yeah, he looks sad.
Ready?
He looks like he looks sad. Yeah, he looks sad. He looks like the weight of it's hitting him, and just as a human being, I don't take joy. I don't like the prison system. I don't like what it does to people. I don't like this process. So I don't take any celebration in seeing him looking that way. He looks sad. Now, doesn't mean that accountability is not owed. We don't know what he's going to be charged with. There's a lot more, but at that moment, that is not a conqueror. That is a granddad having a very bad day.
Granddad having a very bad day. Very bad. Not very good. Very bad.
What are your thoughts, Shanti?
This doesn't make me feel any kind of way. I'm not like feeling like that's, it doesn't ruffle my feathers that he said that. I was listening to the Daily, the New York Times, and similarly, they were talking about seeing him in court. They were one of the journalists that were able to go on the court, and that he looked defeated and he looked deflated and he looked completely different than this boisterous, pompous, arrogant caricature that he often displays. And they made note of it as well. Maybe they didn't offer as much compassion that Van did, but yeah, he's obviously not the same nigga that was talking that shit before. You can't be if you're in cuffs. And he also, I don't know if it's him he's just been humbled. He's in fucking cuffs. He might be going to jail. Like,
he was never in cuffs.
Oh.
I don't feel anything for him. And I'm the compassion. I'd be trying to be compassionate.
I don't have to feel anything, but just noting that, like, yeah, he's probably fucked up.
I don't care. He might be fucked up in that moment, but he got on his private jet and was just fine and didn't do any jail time or had no cuffs and had the real treatment and will continue to have the Republican Party in his grips. I do have a problem with Van. Van is tricky. Van really tees it up for us to be annoyed with him. Are you doing your nails? Because I could hear it. But it just, that type of compassion for someone who hates you so much and who would do harm and who has done harm. And then, like, his family was awful towards Van Jones. They've called him all kinds of stuff, but then he chummied up next to him and had some sort of, I don't know, maybe restorative justice moment. Who knows? But Van, the way that Van is like an emotional support dog to some of the most heinous people, I have a hard time with it.
Oh, I don't know nothing about Van.
He's always doing that. He's the guy that's
well,
like.
What if it wasn't Van who was saying that? What if it's just another person making that statement?
I would expect it more from Fox. I would expect it more from people who want us to feel compassion for him, who are trying to convince us that he's the victim. Trump is not the victim. Like, the stuff that he's accused of is really fucked up. The stuff that he's done is fucked up. And like, maybe if you note it and your tone is more like, wow, this is to be noted, you know, he is not the same boisterous, like, maybe this has been effective. Maybe there is a change in him. But to be like, this doesn't make me happy. This makes me sad. He looks sad. Well, I don't care. And Van, you got to reel it the fuck in. This is a plea. I saw Van Lathan reposted it and was like, gentle reminder, or something like, reminder to say me. I know his mentions is in fucking shambles. So, Van, God bless you. You better, maybe Van is a better person than I am. I don't know, but hush, child.
Yeah, it depends on your philosophy. I don't know.
So, I saw someone repost, what was the character from Django? What was Samuel L. Jackson? Anyway, she said something like on Twitter, breaking news, Samuel L. Jackson has said that he based his character in Django off of Van Jones. And then she wrote, that's actually not true, but what if it was? That's how I feel. Like, okay, that's how I see it. But anyway, moving right along. Here we go with more bullshit. Tennessee. God damn. I know it's Mississippi, goddamn, but Tennessee, what are you doing? Have you been watching this? Have you been keeping up with this here?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Tennessee's Republican-controlled House voted Thursday to expel Jones and Justin Pearson, who are both Black, for speaking out in turn during a gun control protest in the House chamber the week prior. So they're expelling two Democratic legislators who joined a protest on the House floor after a deadly school shooting took place in Nashville. Of course, the protest was around gun control. Protesters gathered at the state capitol, and the Democratic reps Justin Jones, Gloria Johnson, and Justin Pearson led a chant of "Power to the People" from the floor house. Last Thursday, lawmakers voted 72 to 25 to expel Jones, to expel Jones, who is only 27 and one of the youngest members of the legislature. And then the resolution to expel Johnson failed by one vote. Johnson, mind you, is the white woman, Gloria Johnson, 65 to 30. But Pearson, another Black man, 28 years old, was also expelled in a 69 to 26 vote. The GOP major majority has accused the representatives of breaking House rules on conduct and decorum. I have another clip. Do you want me to play it?
Yes.
Or do you want to talk about it? Okay. One moment. Monty, please take this out as I find the clip, because I didn't realize I needed to have that teed up. Okay. Ready?
One of your colleagues who was an admitted child. Let's talk about expulsion. For years, one of your colleagues who was an admitted child molester sat in this chamber. No expulsion. One member sits in this chamber who was found guilty of domestic violence. No expulsion. We had a former speaker sit in this chamber who is now under federal investigation. No expulsion. We have a member still under federal investigation. No expulsion. We had a member pee in another member's chair in this chamber. No expulsion. In fact, they're in leadership. But
So there's also a member.
let's talk about
Oh
expulsion.
shit! There's also a member who has basically taken money, from other folks in order to change his vote or inform his vote to impact his vote, which is like, what? That is, then you can't be in anyone's house. Like, what is, we know it happens, or we think it happens, but to be found guilty of that and to still have your seat, I'm confused. And all these people did was lead a chant that was power to the people. Okay. What are your thoughts?
This really made me upset. This made me really sad. This made me feel really like throw it all away. Like it is just, there's no, the blatant racism, the blatant hate, the blatant paradoxes, the blatant hypocrisy, it's insanity. It's absurd. It doesn't make any sense. It made me really sad to see those Black men fighting to be heard, fighting to be seen. He had a fro, he had a dashiki, just doing their best to be beautiful representations of Blackness, of arguing the absurdity and the insanity and the double standard that was there. It was really heartbreaking to me, actually. It's not just like, this is ridiculous. It's like, this is fucking, you cannot fix this. You cannot fix this. You cannot make sense of it. You cannot, it's not grounded in any type of logic whatsoever. And the ways that Black people, the ways that human life is just discarded a lot of ways, or dismissed around these illogical laws, these laws that don't really stand on any type of real truth with a capital T. You know what I mean? Like he just said, like, you have fucking criminals here that haven't been expelled, and here I am. It just showed, it just made me really sad. It made me really sad and really disheartened and
disempowered.
How disempowered, and those men were really trying to like fight for their lives, fight to be seen, fighting for the lives of that were lost. Like common sense. There was just a massacre where babies were killed, and it doesn't make sense to me. I mean, it makes perfect sense to me, but it also that's the logic, that's what folks are standing 10 toes down in fear of Blackness and fear of righteousness in some ways, in a lot of ways. Is just like, yo, this shit, it's like we have to enjoy our lives and do the best that we can, because I don't understand and I do not see redemption in the things that folks get away with in front of the world's eyes. This was a global discussion. People from all over the country are seeing these men up there trying to defend themselves and just completely disempowered, just like making, like the woman did the same goddamn thing and then she got to stay. It's arguing over what, over the voice, how loud they were speaking, and what is considered, arguing over these stupid ass semantics. Like I was just, my voice wasn't even raised, or Those niggas didn't even know, excuse me, I shouldn't call them. Those legislators didn't even know half the rules. They're like, yo, I didn't even know what was allowed. I didn't even know, I didn't know that this was against the quote unquote law or whatever kind of protocols that they have. It's just,
there are no protocols. I mean,
it's just whatever the fuck they say it is.
Yeah.
It's whatever fits me. It's whatever serves me. It's whatever.
I think
actually lawlessness. It's not, we don't stand by the law. It's actually lawlessness. It's not anything else.
I think that you and I are always going to have a different reaction to stuff like this. The first thing that I thought was, oh, we have to do something about this. And then I was like, oh, Tennessee. Okay. A state where the Ku Klux Klan was founded. Yep. The fact that that state is now expelling and silencing Black representatives is not surprising at all to me. Okay. And so in my mind, I was thinking like, well, what do they do? Because if something like this happens, you're supposed to contact your representative, but these are the representatives that this is happening to. So it's like, tricky. But I don't have that answer. I, though, do believe that there is an answer, and someone much smarter than me has it, and we just have to seek that out. But I was inspired by Justin Jones and what he said before the vote. And he said, your overreaction, your flexing of false power has awakened a generation of people who will let you know that your time is up.
Sure.
Tennessee is a tricky state. The fact that they so viscerally don't want to change legislation around guns after those children and those 3 adults and that and the shooter as well, that they all die as a result of these guns being so readily available and a plethora of other reasons. It's just very interesting. And then, of course, you have this double standard. And shout out to Gloria, because at least she held it down and was like, oh, this has everything to do with the fact that I'm white, that I kept my seat. I'm curious to know what Gloria is going to do about that moving forward. Because this is where I'm like, all right, allyship, let's go. You see what I'm saying? Like, let's go. Do the right thing. Let us know what help you need. But like, something has to give here. Something. But it just goes to show how important, again, I think for me, it's like how important your local elections are, but also that shit is, I don't know how many people live in Tennessee that look like me and you, that feel like me and you, that do they have the votes for this? Like, to even get these people out? It's just so convoluted and a hot ass mess. And maybe we should all just go back to the continent. I don't know. Now we got LSU. They won. Shout out to LSU. I watched the game with my mom. I was rooting for them. It was very much a game of like culture versus culture a little bit. It's like, you've got Caitlin Clark, who is, she's on Iowa's team. She's incredible. And, my mom was like, she's loving it. As I don't know if everybody knows this, but my parents,
white.
Yeah, my parents met on the basketball court. And so basketball is deeply ingrained in my DNA, even though I can't play at all. But Caitlin's white and Angela Reese is black. Now, this is a black ass woman. I like this girl a lot. A lot. She got the hair, she got the lashes, she got the attitude, she got the swag, she gets the way of being. Everything about her. She's from Baltimore. Like, even the way she plays, like, she's just this dope ass, beautiful ass black woman. And Caitlin Clark is a dope. Wait, it's getting tricky. Caitlin Clark is a very incredibly talented, dope white basketball player who exhibits behavior that would probably be, that is well respected and accepted by the masses. Even when Caitlin Clark is a little bit braggadocious, does her little, you can't see me shit. They're like, wow, she's so confident. She's so empowered. She's wow. Now, Angela Reese beat the brakes off of Caitlin Clark and her team. And Angela Reese said, I'm going to show you who can't see who. Give me my fucking ring. And followed her around at the end of the game, because she wasn't looking at her. Angela Reese got dragged through the motherfucking mud by all the sports pundits. She was called a fucking idiot. And then everybody had an opinion. So, obviously, we know what the double standard is there.
So the Caitlyn was doing it in Angela's face?
Caitlyn does it all the time. Caitlyn is just that player. She had just done it the last week where she beat Dawn Staley's team. It's another black-ass team. There was another set of comments made about that team that had racial undertones. Mm-hmm. But Caitlyn is just this swaggy ass white girl that could play. Caitlyn they interviewed Caitlyn. She was like, yeah, Angela Reese, I don't see anything wrong with what she did. We're basketball players. You have the dynamic of black and white, because you got to realize the locker rooms before the game, Iowa was playing high school. What is that called? High school movie? What is it called? That really white.
I know what I'm talking about.
It's like some very, very white movie. High School Musical? Something like that. And then LSU was playing Boosie and dancing around and rowdy and getting it in. So you see that and you're like, okay, people couldn't be more different. Polar opposites.
Yeah.
So then you also have the dynamic around they're women. Women they should act a certain way, which is, I think, why Caitlyn doubled down and was like, no, what I will say I wanted more from her. I wish she would have said, I do this shit all the time. It's because Angel is black, that it's a problem. But she stuck to women need to be able to, we're ball players. We need to be able to talk trash. It's a part of the game. So she fell short there.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm not going to harp on this much longer. I'm just trying to understand, because I didn't watch the show. I haven't seen this play out.
You said the show? Is that what you just said?
I didn't watch the series.
The game? This is why I be wanting to talk about sports sometimes, and I cannot.
I don't know what you're talking about. Caitlyn is doing it in the face of other players, you talking shit to each other, or she's doing it in her own.
You're not. Yes, she's doing it in the face of other players. You're not going to understand this, but she flags somebody.
Energy.
It's exact. Okay.
Wow.
The thing about this, though, is while this is in that's very much related to politics. I also want to add that Jill asked Biden, hopped on somewhere, I forget where she was, but she spoke out of turn, because I'm sure the White House was like, girl, shut up. But she spoke out of turn. I was like, you know what? They played such a good game. I think LSU and Iowa should come to the White House. I'm going to talk to Joe about that. Girl, what? Jill. And listen, girl, I don't know who's advising you, but that's just such a bad look that this black ass team beats the break off of this white team. But both girls should come. What? That's a part of the winnings. Is that you go to the White House. Even Caitlyn and her team was like, no, we didn't do what we needed to do to get there. We should not be invited.
That's why everybody was mad at Jill.
Yes, but something that's missing from this conversation, I think, is I don't even know. Yes, a chunk of it is the black and white, unsportsmanlike versus sportsmanlike conduct. What this country deems as appropriate and respectable. And that changes depends on what body you're in. But she's also pandering to voters in Iowa. No one talked about this. I was like, y'all don't see what she's doing? She getting ready for this next election, and she thought she was holding Joseph Robinette down. She sent him back. I said,
Iowa.
Jill.
What does Iowa have to do with anything? That's where the white girls team is? Okay.
Yes.
Word.
We're done with this conversation. This is silly. Next up. Go ahead. Talk about our husband. Our ex. Boy, I don't know what he is this time.
Girl, so this is just a follow up on our last conversation now. It's really not looking good. Antoinette said this is kind of old now. I think
That's
this
all
is very important. The texts were released from his partner after she got out the hospital. For those of you who haven't heard about them, it should not have ever been released because this is not making Jonathan look like, it's not putting him in the good light at all. It's reading abuse syndrome real bad, real bad, to the point of I don't know if I would believe anything other than what had happened. But
You mean what she's saying happened?
what she's saying, man, yeah,
Or what
I don't
she
know. I
said,
take that
she
back.
recanted.
I don't know. She
Tricky.
recanted. So she says, this is her text to Jonathan, that Jonathan's major done released to the public to prove his innocence.
His lawyer. Who is his lawyer?
Oh,
Got that shit on Groupon. The fuck? I read this like, your lawyer gotta be a man, but I would think you would get a woman lawyer if you're accused of strangulation and harassment of a white
you say
woman.
that, it makes me feel sad.
It's awful.
Okay. Please let me know you're okay when you get this. They reassured me that you won't be charged. They said they had to arrest you as protocol when they saw the injuries on me. And they knew we had a fight. What? I'm so angry that they did, and I'm sorry you're in this position. We'll make sure nothing happens about this. I told them it was my fault for trying to grab your phone. I only just got out of hospital. Call me when you're out. I love you. They listen.
Wait,
no
he
response.
responds. No, he does respond.
Oh,
this is
that's
not,
him?
This is inaccurate. No, he responds. It's not in this text, but I remember it. And he said, "Did you leave the keys?" That was his response.
For real?
And they blacked out like whatever name or whatever curse word was there. Why did I know the fancy word for curse word? Expletive. Oh man, the edible. Keep going.
Then she goes on to write, they just called again to check on me, and I reiterated how this is not an attack, and they do not have my blessings on any charges being placed. I read the paper they gave me about strangulation and said point blank this did not occur and should be removed immediately. The judge is definitely going to be told this. She ensured this to me. I know you have the best team, and there's nothing to worry about. I just want you to know what I'm doing. All that I can on my end. I also said to tell the judge to know that the origin of the call was to do with me collapsing and passing out, and your worry as my partner due to our communication prior, out of care. She promised all will be relayed. Now, I've actually been getting a lot of the biggest thing for me in this that just does not add up is this man from the country. Even if the white girl was acting crazy, let's say we go by what she said. She's acting crazy, wilding out, having an emotional breakdown. What black man do you know is going to call the cops?
You can't do that.
I can't do what?
I don't know. I don't think you can do
What
that.
black? I'm asking you specifically. What black men
I know
that
black
you
men
know
that call the cop.
that would call the cops on knowing that there was maybe some type of altercation that would call the cops?
I think what they're saying is that she collapsed, that she passed out. And so he called 911. Not when there's an emergency, you call 911 and police respond.
Oh, they said that she was having what I heard was that she was having an emotional breakdown and then he called the cops.
She collapsed.
Because of her emotional breakdown?
I don't know why, but apparently there was reports that she had collapsed, and he was actually the person that called because
that makes more sense.
She said it. You ain't even
that
listening.
Makes more sense.
Wait, let me finish. She says the origin of the call was to do with me collapsing and passing out, and your worry as my partner due to our communication prior. So that's why I'm saying don't do that. A black man will call 911 if someone passes out. That he loves.
But if they're having an argument, I don't know.
No.
I don't know many a black man that will call up his girl wilding out.
No.
Or having an emotional, whatever they referenced it as being. Anyway,
the thing that after me reading it, it's that first message. The second message, I'm like, interesting. That first message, man, I've sent messages like that to people who were absolutely abusive towards me, begging them not to be angry with me, to know I'm doing,
You're putting it on yourself. It's my
putting it
fault
on
this
yourself.
happened.
It's
Protecting you. It wasn't you.
first priority is to protect that person. It sounds, whatever it is, seems to be a very toxic, hate that word, a very codependent relationship.
I mean, maybe it's if it's all by legality, it supports their case that they're saying, and she's reinforcing it by word.
Yes.
It could be.
And the court of public opinion, this did not play over well. This was like, if you wanted Disney and Marvel not to second guess keeping you as their lead, this was not what you wanted to put out.
They didn't take them out, so it's quiet now. Maybe it'll come out in
It's quiet
fall.
now because I think everybody's trying to figure it out. Nobody still really knows what happened. But if this is what was supposed to help, because the court of public opinion at this point, that's one of the most important ones for him, because they don't fucking play. You got to be clean if you Black, because I'm pretty sure I don't even remember the guy's name. I think he hit his wife and kept his shit, but I don't know if I think he was in Disney stuff. Need a producer. But
even Michael B. Jordan, when he was promoting some more of the fighting movie, he ain't show a scene with Jonathan Majors.
He had promotions to do. I didn't see him still promoting that after this happened.
I saw some things that he put out. Maybe you know how Instagram, you'll see shit from 2 days later.
Yeah,
so maybe it was
I haven't
later,
seen him do anything. Listen, the court of public opinion is important, and we'll see what happens. I'm very interested in why we haven't seen this video. It's most likely because they can't release it, or that there's stuff on there that won't make him look good. I don't think that if it's still being reviewed, they're not allowed to release it. But we don't know it's still being reviewed, or it's being suppressed. Who knows? But the lawyer's statement said there was a video that could prove this, so you would think they would want to put it out. Or they're just using that statement as, a way to listen. TBT. It's sad all the way. You can keep going if you want to.
I'm very excited about this. This came out a couple days ago. The Barbie movie trailer came out. I thought it was only going to be about Issa Rae as Barbie, because that was the person I saw release it. And I was like, wow, these Black women really are everywhere.
Doing the
They're
damn
really
thing.
Replacing
For years,
all of the white icons.
With admitted child molester sat in this chamber.
My phone.
No expulsion.
Look at this. It's
one member sits in the.
Go
ahead. Possessed.
Doing his thing. Anyway, it's starring Margot Robbie, the god Ryan Gosling. Have you seen this trailer?
Mm-mm.
You haven't? Yeah.
I saw Issa Rae. Shanti, I don't be having time to watch nothing.
It's on Instagram, girl. You be on Instagram now?
I'm like in my DMs to like respond to friends and you, and then I'm telling you, I ain't even been scrolling that much.
Well, you need to go look at this. You may not.
I saw a picture, a still of Issa. But I thought everybody's doing this Barbie background now, so I didn't realize she was actually in the movie.
No, it's which is very great marketing for them. But in noticing how hype I was for this trailer, I realized how much I love Barbie and how instrumental Barbie was in my life.
Barbie was my first sex ed class.
That's what I want to know. Like, growing up, my mom and dad had a house cleaning business, and I would go clean houses with them. And my job was to spray windows and glass, and then I would get paid. And so my dad would give me $7 every job. And the reason that I really wanted to work, and I was like, I was showing up, was because right afterwards, we go down to KB Toys at the gallery, and he would take me to the Barbie section. First it was Trolls, but then as I matured into a young girl, it was Barbie, and it was Barbie clothes had me in a chokehold. My Barbie was styling, and I was obsessed with them. I had a van, I had a house, I had all this. My Barbie house was very detailed. It had pillows. It had fake plants.
Oh.
Barbie was life to me. Like,
I would have never fucking
oh
guessed
my
this
God,
from you,
I
ever.
loved it. I loved it. And you really learn a lot about your friends when you play Barbie with them, right? Because, like, the scenarios and the relationship dynamics showed up. So my Barbie was definitely, like...
Did you have a black Barbie or a white Barbie?
Oh, my favorite was Pocahontas. She was Native. She was a Native American.
Of course. Of course. Y'all, Shanti want to be...
She wasn't Indian. She was Native American.
You want to be Native American or Indian. You go back and forth. You like, sometimes I really know what Indian is, and then sometimes I'm just raggedy and Native American and be Indian.
I didn't have a white one, though. She wasn't the star, at least. She was in the cast. But my star was the Native, a black Ken.
Oh.
Another black girl. And then they had kids. They had like a little kid and they had a baby. My fucking Barbies had a car seat. You don't understand. My fucking Barbie had the door, a van that you slid open.
Wow. I have Barbies, and I did have a Barbie dollhouse once and a convertible, but I didn't have all of the details.
No, Barbie
at all.
It was life for me. But when I would play, so they had like a really healthy life, you know. The man wasn't necessarily, the dynamic between Barbie and the man wasn't
You're killing
what
me
I focused on. I focused mostly on the care of the kids and the friendship and her fucking gear. Like I said, it was all about dressing her and doing her hair, and that took up hours. But then your friends would come, and then they'd be wanting to like make them have sex. Like they would introduce.
Your friends would do that.
I would just notice. I would notice the relationship dynamics would change. Like I would learn a lot about my friends by playing Barbies, because I'm like, yo, I'm just trying to do hair and, you know, feed my kid and put him in the car seat, go shopping. And they're like, no, because this person stole my, like, all this relationship drama would come. It would become this toxic. We weren't that old, Antoinette. I'm talking like 9 and 7, 8, 9.
Apologies.
But a lot of shit would come up like, oh, your family life, are you watching TV or like...
Are you watching TV?
Like, what the fuck?
That's so funny because I know you didn't have a TV. So you're like, you must be watching that TV now.
My sister would be the one too. Actually, it was my sister. It wasn't my friends. My sister would come in with sex and stuff. And I'd be like, girl, what? Barbie and Ken are doing that? We taking off their clothes? Like, what? You learn a lot about your friends and life. So did you have toxic relationships with your Barbies?
No, my Barbies were in love, and they would I would be alone, mind you. And if my sister came in, I'm playing Barbie and they're having sex, I would throw the dolls. Like, I don't want anybody to know. Like, what? No.
That is a signature move.
Like, you would just be like, ting, they gone. And then you just hear this thump, and she just looking at me like, bitch, I know what you doing. Fuck out of here. No, and then me and my sister shared a room like my whole life. So, child, no, we weren't. I wasn't, and I didn't have friends come over and play with Barbies. If friends came over, we had to go outside. My parents didn't play that. It was like go outside.
Playing Barbies. Boy.
Wow, Barbie, huh? Barbie was, and I didn't spend a lot of time doing my Barbie's hair. I didn't do a lot of Barbie stuff. I was more like, I had them and they were cool, but I was outside ripping and running. I was that kid.
No.
Even in the
Barbie,
snow.
I would rip and run too, but Barbie was, I guess maybe because I was the only child.
Yeah,
maybe I wasn't outside, that's why. Yeah, it was a big deal. And I saw
how you were talking about it.
When I saw this fucking trailer, I was like,
I'm so excited for you to see it, sis.
I was trying to get Joe to be hype about it too. She was like, no. Yeah,
really?
That's why I think it's for our generation. It has to be.
Yeah. I don't know that these kids like Barbie. Maybe. I don't have kids.
No, JoJo doesn't care for Barbie. She tries.
Noah has Barbies. Noah has a whole dream house.
See?
It's with an elevator. Kids. It's ridiculous.
Yes. I was jealous of the elevator.
All right. Can we move on, please? One time.
That's it. That's it for this episode.
No, I have one, bitch.
What else we saying?
One, the Marcus Houston one. I gotta pull that up because this is just silly at this point. Are you aware of Marcus Houston? Do you know who that is?
Yeah.
I'm trying to tee up this.
I saw this. I watched the clip too.
You watched the clip.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm gonna play the clip. Monty, I'm searching for the clip.
Clips queen.
I know, I'm gonna hate it. Hold on, I really need to buy the other YouTube.
When she was 17 and he was 36.
Oh.
In the interview, Houston insisted that several investigators consider the age span of 10 to 24 years as adolescence. Obviously, this has caused an outrage on their opinion. In the greater conversation, grooming children before they're of age. Today we have our company hype analyst, Yamanika Saunders, and Pierre calling to the show along with very special guest, comedian Marcus Harvey, to talk all about it. But first, let's take a look at this clip
right here.
Me and my wife's situation is a little different. You know, how we met, you know, through mutual friends and everything like that. You know, when I met my wife, she was 17. We had no really conversation and no really connection until, you know, she was of age. And, you know, people don't understand it. And I got a lot of backlash for marrying someone else, 19. When we did finally start to talk, I was like, this woman is like me. For one, we had a spiritual connection. And I feel like that's the most important thing. We both love God. We both love Jehovah. That was key.
I'm done.
Rastafari, and I. It's like, don't even put no disrespect on Jaw's theme like that.
Listen, they always got to bring God into it.
Make it all right.
When they doing something tricky, it's always spiritually connected. And then did you hear how many times he said, you know? And then that first 10 seconds where he's
do not know.
You know, because, you know, right, you all right, Marcus? And then he said, you know, we didn't even talk to each other he said when we finally started talking to each other when she had turned 18 on the dot. Boy. And you 37.
Boy. No.
Marcus.
She's beautiful.
What does that have to do with the fact that this man
I know he was running that. He was child. They're still married and they have a child together now, right? They're still together?
Yes, but what do you think about that? Seriously. They like what? She was 17 when they met. She is now 20. How old is Marcus Houston?
Yeah, he was 38.
Almost 40. He was 37, I think, when they got together.
17
or when he met.
8,
Listen,
19.
You have a daughter. Jolie talked to you about at 17, and then 18 hits, and she dating some almost 40-year-old, and they get married and have a kid.
Don't like it.
Like what? What is the cutoff? I understand that people are. Go ahead, you finish because I can't.
The cutoff?
Like what?
I mean, the biggest concern is that she's
her brain's not fully formed yet.
She'll need to be getting married, having kids. What in the Mormon tradition? Is that Jehovah's Witness?
Stop bringing them up. They are Jehovah's Witness, but stop being. I don't. The last episode you went in on Mormon. Stop.
In the modern day, that don't make no goddamn sense. Back in the day, there's something about it that feels familiar and feels like, oh, we've heard this story before. It's almost biblical. It's almost like, oh, we know this.
This is predatory as fuck, Shanti.
What I'm saying, this story has been repeated and has been known, has been acceptable for many, 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 many years in terms of like the social acceptance of an older man taking on a young woman, marrying her young. Of course, now we're understanding the consequences of it. We're understanding the grooming part. I think that's the most important part of it that goes into it, of him talking to her when she's 17. I don't know. Where is the girl's family? Where are the people?
Oh, girl, that's a whole other story. Apparently,
they alarmed and protecting her.
No, they think this girl, listen, they think that this girl is some girl that ran away from home.
What?
Yes, it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing.
Oh, this is terrible.
Yes.
This is a grooming predatory situation. I mean, even if her family gave its blessings, listen, it reminds me of Aaliyah, which, we ain't blink an eye at years ago. Just like, oh, that's what niggas do. Makes sense. Something don't feel right about it.
You
as
bring
long
it
as
up.
she's okay with it.
You bring it up with J and B. It's not
What's
the
their
same
age
at all.
difference? Is
It's
it?
only 10, 11 years.
Is it not the same at all?
10
The way
years
he
is
was in
different
that
from
little
20.
girl's mind. Still, the way he was grooming her and in her mind.
This is a hot take. Jay groomed Beyonce, huh?
I think he did. And then she
Damn.
grew older than him and was like, nigga, you my fucking son.
Go
I
sit on
run
the
this
party.
shit. I'll tell you what to do.
Do you think
Or
that's
rather-
happening?
No, I think that she probably matured
Mm-hmm.
beyond him. Now, she's probably not telling him what to do, but her terms were like, wait a minute. Her waking up, her realizing the inequity that they had in the relationship, the power, what she was giving up.
Interesting.
Whatever the fuck the poet has said for Beyonce, I think she realized, like, oh,
The poet?
what's her name? I forgot her name. My girl.
Oh, yes. Worcestershire.
Worcestershire spoke for Beyonce. She was like, wait a minute, something ain't right. But I'll never forget hearing that the Watch Me Check Up on It video, whatever the rapper's name was, Jay-Z
Slim Thug.
called at for the production of the music video and said he can only be on set for his time, for his recording, and then he has to go. He can't be there to see her doing her thing. And we don't know how many times
Is
he
that
had
is
type
that
of
verified?
control. Yeah, what's the nigga said it?
Who said
The
it?
rapper
Slim
said
Thug?
it. Yeah.
Stop
Said
calling him the rapper.
Sean Paul. It was a similar dynamic with Sean Paul as well. Jay-Z
Sean
was
Paul
like,
said that?
Mm-hmm. He was like,
Where did he
"That's
say
some-"
that? Where he had said that at, girl?
You look it up and Google it.
I
I
wanna-
have the source on me.
He
He
said
did.
it like you heard him say it, or it was like allegedly you read it?
I didn't hear him say it. I can't remember the medium I don't remember the medium which I heard it was Slim Thug. I just remember him saying like
The way
I had to just record and go. Like there was no space or there was no way that I was going to be rubbing up, seeing her, watching her perform, taking up her time and her energy. It was clear like this is business, in and out, do what you
So
gotta
that had
do.
to do with
You gotta go.
Jay?
Jay was the one that was making these decisions, saying like he has to go. He specifically said that Jay-Z requested that he only be on set for his time and that he bounced afterwards.
Wow.
And that's it.
If this is true, this should be...
You don't think Jay-Z is capable of that? He even said it on the phone. What did he say on his song? You're my girl, don't embarrass me? Some misogynist shit like that?
He said, wait, Shanti, he said that he said that at her 21st birthday. That was quite some time ago.
21,
So he
20.
was, first of all, that was on the album where he's talking about
But
all
I
of
know.
the things that he
Yes.
did wrong. Yeah.
So it can't. It's not that far from him being like,
So
"That's
if this
my
is
girl,
listen,
stay away."
if this
while I
is
fuck
true,
other
this should
people.
give you hope. All right. Maybe there's hope yet, because the way I stand for J and B and their relationship and will protect it by any means necessary, I don't know. It's okay with Jay. It's
where's
not
the
okay
hope?
with Marcus. There is me
Child.
right there. No, I don't think what Jay did is not okay. Maybe the outcome is just different, but we don't
Well,
know what the outcome is.
Marcus and them married. They have
Marcus.
been married. We don't
We
have no
gotta
drama.
give them a little more time. They've been together 2 years. Let's see. I want this little girl to be okay, and I hope that she is, seriously. But I also, other things happen in Marcus Houston's life. That whole IMX, that whole world was fucked up. So who knows that he might have been groomed. This is all sad.
Oh wow,
Usher was groomed.
y'all! We've been
We don't
watching the
talk about
YouTube
that.
videos. We've been watching the YouTube videos. Okay,
No,
we up
Usher-
on the grooming of the black
King.
musicians. P Diddy.
Diddy
Is
was
that-
definitely...
isn't-
Usher
wasn't
was
that the-
living with Diddy at like 14, 15, I think.
Michael Jackson was
Imagine.
groomed. Michael Jackson was
Oh,
exposed
yeah.
to shit that he should have never seen.
Oh, yeah.
Child.
All right, well, protect your kids, protect your talented beings. And yeah, I don't know how to end this episode. Do you have a good way?
For more uplifting and conscious, that was a conscious ending.
I know.
For more conscious conspiracy theories, you may want to go on YouTube to deepen and clarify some of these theories. There is no proof, but
allegedly,
we do. Allegedly, we are not.
Please don't sue us. You just got to throw. Mandy always says you just got to throw allegedly in there, and you good. You can say whatever you want, or be a comedy podcast. Then you really can say whatever you want. I don't know if we fit that. We're under personal journals right now. So corny.
Personal journals?
Yeah, that's our genre. Dear Diary. And we chart on that genre. That's why we over there. I was like, comedy too big. It's a large pond. I'm gonna go seek a smaller pond and try to be the big fish there for a little bit. See what happens.
For more business strategies, you also can stay on this podcast as well.
I love you. What's the name of this joint? We'll figure it out.
I don't know, but we'll see y'all next week. Thank you for listening.
Bye. What's the name of that episode? Was that a good episode? I feel.
We talk about Tab.
I didn't want to because I didn't read the full article yet. I hadn't read it. I didn't have time to read it, and I didn't want to just not do it any justice.
Tell you something.
That's an important.
I fucking love Tab.
You was hating on her carrots though. Her carrot bacon.
I hate her recipes, but I love her. Look at her. Damn.
What's the name of this episode? Groomed and Doomed? No. Wasn't very uplifting. Talked about Tennessee, LSU.
It's hard out here. I'm telling you, it's not much good going on.
Was Beyonce groomed by Jay-Z? No.
Yeah, we should say that.
No, that's my friend. Like,
and we're gonna get kicked off with that.
She heard me. She heard Jasmine said that she liked my tail.
She said that's my friend. Beyonce definitely knows. If Beyonce has heard your voice,
she
heard knows
yours
who you
too.
are.
She's heard your voice. She heard the what was it? The remix, the deluxe. We're close to her.
Oh, less than 6 degrees, I'll tell you that.
Should it be, what does Marcus Houston's wife, Marcus Houston's wife, Usher, and Beyonce
have in common?
That's very long. Let me type it. Marcus. It's already too long. Marcus Houston's wife, Usher, and Beyonce. Commonality. Or what is that when you have one thing? Through line. No. That's too long. What does Marcus Houston's wife, Usher, that's not terrible. Beyonce have.
What do Marcus Houston and Jay-Z have in common?
Marcus Houston and Jay-Z, one man.
What does Marcus Houston and Jay-Z have in common?
That's so long. You were
just about to say Marcus Houston's wife.
And I was saying it's too long. What does Marcus Houston and Jay-Z have in common? Is that too long?
I forgot about Jay-Z grooming Beyonce.
Don't do that.
I think you heard it here first. Did I say that first? He did.
You said that, man. You was like, and he was grooming her. And I was like,
yeah, he was. I forgot about that.
Listen,
that little girl head
if Jay is out there for me, groom me. If my shit going up like that.
You don't know what their like that is. The hell she been through.
I know.
Idea.
She was like,
she was staring into space, child. Unwell. Unwell.
All right, you got to lead this next episode. Also, I didn't pick voicemails, so this is just like whatever plays, we're going to go with it.
Oh my God.
It's real.
You ready?
Not yet.
Israel
It's real.
I say, don't mention Israel. Bombing Gaza as we speak.
Don't say that.
They are.
No. I could see some of the transcripts. Hold on. But these transcripts come in crazy. No. Well, there's a lot. There was a man I thought. No. Wait, what's today? Oh, I went too far back. Oh, here we go. Okay. I'm Jesus Christ.